Hey, what's up guys? Now we're going to get into some shoulder fixes and things to work on for if you have some general shoulder pain. So depending on where that pain is in the shoulder kind of dictates on our solution. So if we have pain in the front of that shoulder, that can be from a couple different things. It can either stem from the upper back, so going back to doing some of those neck and upper back fixes on the back side can actually relieve a lot of that pain in the front of the shoulder. But let's start with the pecs and kind of the shoulder itself. If we don't get any relief from that, then we're going to go to the upper back. Now I think our Versa Roller is the easiest way to kind of dig into those soft tissue of the shoulder and the chest, or where it all kind of intertwines together here in the middle. What we want to do is start kind of towards the back side of that shoulder, the rear deltoid. We're going to slowly work our way around the whole shoulder, looking for any areas of super sensitivity, anything that's super tender in there. You can get a lot of trigger points kind of through that shoulder itself, but that's not always the culprit when it comes to shoulder pain. So kind of dive through there, look for anything that's particularly tender, and we're just going through nice and slow, looking for anything that feels like a knot that is basically painful. If you have that in there, that's a trigger point. It can be the cause of your shoulder pain. It may not be. But what we're going to do is kind of find any trigger points in there. If we do find them, just apply pressure, breathe and relax, and kind of let that dissipate. If you do find one, again, it's about 30 seconds of pressure while we're breathing and relaxing, and then we can start kind of rolling that tissue out and massaging out that knot. I'd say about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes total around that shoulder. But if in that first 30 seconds we don't feel any tension, we don't feel any pain, go ahead and move on. So part 2 is kind of digging into that chest in the front here. Versa Roller is awesome for that as well. What we're going to do, it's going to be hard to see in the video because I had to kind of go face to the wall. But we're going to stretch that arm out, keep that arm nice, straight, and locked out. We've got this tissue now stretched out and a little bit more tense, and we're going to dig in there with the Versa Roller. So arm straight against the wall, loading that tissue against the roller, and now we're just going to look around for anything that's particularly tender or painful. And if we find it, we're going to spend time on it. We're going to put some pressure into it, breathe, relax, 4-second inhale, 8-second exhale all through the belly if we can, while that spot's tacked down. Spend about 30 seconds there, and then start kind of massaging it out. And lastly, part 3 of the shoulder fix are the lats. So the lats are these big muscles that attach basically the front of our shoulder to the back all the way down to our hip. So that muscle can get nice and bound up and start pulling, and when it pulls where it's attached, and where it's attached is the front of that shoulder. So what we want to do is get out our foam roller, get down here on the floor. We're going to lay across that roller right on our lat here, and we're just going to kind of rock side to side very, very slowly, really applying as much of our body weight to that roller as we can. We're starting right under the armpit, and we'll work our way down a bit. So right under that armpit can be really tender. We've got our teres minor in there, some of our scapular muscles, and then again that lat. All of those things that kind of attach into that shoulder can cause shoulder pain if they get too tense. So we're looking through all of that tissue, finding anything that's super tender and sore, and then applying that pressure. And this one we're going to be going side to side to kind of pull that tissue along itself and get it moving again, and kind of restore that motion in the lat to release that tension from the shoulder. So spend about 1 minute or 2 working our way from the armpit down slowly as we rock side to side. So get a few passes side to side, and then just roll it down a little bit, and then go back into that side to side movement. Again, we're looking for areas that are tender. So if we find one, stop there and spend a lot of time on it. Again, 30 seconds to 1 minute on that actual spot, and then move on and see if we find anything else. We're going to repeat all of this on the opposite side as well. Now, if you gave all 3 of those a try and you still have tension and pain in that shoulder, go ahead and look at the neck and upper back fix. So a lot of the tension in that upper back can cause pain in that shoulder, particularly the front or the back. So if we've still have pain after doing those 3 things that we just tried there, go to the neck and upper back fix video and try particularly everything in the second half of the first video.